I think if you go back to the transcript from the call, Mark outlined, a series of areas of focus for us in the management team this year. I think, I would summarize them in a few buckets. One is, we have refocused our go-to-market efforts predominantly on, the largest companies in the world and those that have the largest propensity to spend. And I think really, having kind of a more deliberate, intentional focus in that regard, I think will bear fruits. I think one of the things that we learned from 2020 is we had over-indexed a bit on, mid-size businesses, and so that's certainly an important segment of customer for us. But we do think that our partners are better positioned to be able to to serve them, especially given many of those customers have deeper service and solution needs than we typically would provide. Another area of focus is customer success and really making sure that not only do we serve customers and delight them at the time of sale, but really helping them as through the journey as a customer. And so we're investing more than we have traditionally in our customer success organization, and we believe, frankly, that customer success over time, especially for a modern software company, will become more important than the initial sale itself, and really help customers get the benefits of the software they're purchasing, and really kind of encourage and drive expansion opportunities. So customer success is incredibly important to us as we think about going forward. The next initiative that I would call out is just partners, both technical and strategic alliance partners. Again, as I think about going forward, how do we continue to scale? The partner ecosystem is going to be just incredibly important, to those efforts. On the technical partner side, by way of example, we announced partnerships with Adobe, UiPath, and Snowflake, last year, just to name a few. And on the strategic alliance of partners, we had a relationship with PwC that was North American based. We've expanded that to be global. We announced the HCL strategic alliance, which we are super excited about. And I expect over time, to bring more partners into our ecosystem that can really be helpful. And then lastly, and this is probably an initiative that you'll continue to hear more and more from us. It's really, it's broader than just selling software, but really, how do we help customers and how do we help users upskill? And Mark feels very passionate about being able to drive education, training, and just overall enablement to data workers to be able to really upskill that class of worker. And it's interesting when Mark was sharing an example. I don't remember if it was on the Q4 call or one of the conferences just before, but in his first 90 days, as he was talking to customers and really trying to understand how do they leverage Alteryx, what's the value we provide them, and really hear firsthand their experiences. He came away from those conversations, feeling that a lot of what customers would like to see from us, in addition to what we've been providing, is really helping them upskill their workforce and allowing citizen data scientists to be able to perform at just higher levels, if you will, relative to their skill set. And so Libby Duane, one of our founders, is spearheading this initiative around upskilling more broadly, and we think it's an important initiative, just beyond the company, but really in the world. So those are the four key focuses. I think maybe a last one, not to not to leave out innovation, but I think you're going to find, the next 12 to 18 months is going to be, an important period of innovation for us. We announced Suresh Vittal as our Chief Product Officer, on the call. He started a week and a half ago, and he's really here to drive, a very clear and defensible cloud strategy and just overall product roadmap. And so, super excited to include him in the management team and for what he's going to bring going forward. With respect to Snowflake, I think as we mentioned, I think both in the announcement of the partnership as well as some of the dialogue in the earnings call, we have several hundred common customers, between the two technologies. And, one of the things that we've really strived to do, and frankly, I think customers expect from us, is that, we cooperate with, all of technologies that are in our ecosystem. And, that expectation is not just of Alteryx, it's of all of the vendors that are, providing technology and solutions. We all have to work together. We all have to integrate well. And, this idea that the customer is going to bear, the challenges of integration, in modern technology, I think, we have to be able to integrate seamlessly with those that are in and around us. Alteryx sits in this unique kind of orchestration of data and analytics, that we don't see other, technologies solving for. And so, specific to Snowflake, this is just another, level of deep integration that will allow Alteryx users to take advantage of some of the capabilities and power of Snowflake, by allowing them to kind of push the business logic of their workflows into Snowflake and leverage their compute. We do that with others. I would argue that, certainly an ability to, more seamlessly integrate with, technologies like Snowflake have, certainly, tailwind benefits. Some of it is a bit hard to quantify, but, it's really in the vein of trying to, ensure that, we interoperate within the ecosystem, for the benefit of our mutual customers. No, look, each individual makes, their own decisions, as to how and when they choose, to sell, and those decisions often have to do with, their own personal situations. Part of compensation to, executives, employees is equity, and so, we don't comment on individuals and their choices to when they choose to sell. Our guidance is the best indication of our view at the time that we give it. What I can say is in terms of puts and takes, 2021 is a transition year. It's a year of heavy investment. We have historically, I think, demonstrated that our financial model is quite powerful in being able to generate cash flow. We're making the intentional decision this year to really invest in aspects of the business that we think will provide long-term shareholder value. In particular, some of the comments I made earlier around go-to-market and customer success and innovation, and really kind of leaning into building what we think will allow for continued growth through several stages. But that comes with the cost of having to put some of those pieces in place this year. I can't comment on whether we think that results in a loss this year or not. I would leave you with that, we have historically been incredibly financially disciplined, and I would expect us to continue to be. Look, we are always, considering and rationalizing performance, productivity, levels of investment in different areas of the business to ensure that, we're good corporate stewards for sure. We're not in a situation that, we feel like we've got to execute on, significant cost initiatives to be able to maintain, going concern or viable business. So, these are deliberate, intentional investments that we're making, throughout the organization that we think are going to pay off in spades. No, I don't want to leave you with the impression that we're not, financially managing all aspects of the business. Specific to your question, though, we have not executed any widespread cost initiatives in that sense, at least in the way I think you're describing them.